On this particular night, Kimmel took his usual playful banter to a new level, aiming his comedic arrows at a topic that would soon spark a firestorm. With a sly smile, he made an offhand remark about Barron Trump, the youngest son of former President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. Kimmel joked about Barron's height, his appearance, and even made light of his growing-up years in the shadow of his father's enormous public persona. The crowd erupted in laughter, thinking it was all just harmless comedy. After all, celebrity children had long been fair game in the world of late-night TV humor. But for Melania Trump, this wasn't a typical joke about a famous figure. It was a direct assault on her family. The remark struck a chord deep within her, especially as it targeted Barron, a young teenager who had been subjected to years of media scrutiny and unwanted attention. Barron Trump had already endured a great deal of public commentary about his height, his mannerisms, and even his lack of involvement in the public eye, all while his parents were in the spotlight. As a mother, Melania had always been fiercely protective of her family, but she had largely stayed out of the public eye when it came to defending them from the endless criticisms that came with being in the Trump family. But this time, the line had been crossed. Jimmy Kimmel's joke wasn't just a simple punchline. It was a mockery of her son's dignity, and Melania wasn't going to stand idly by while her child was ridiculed. Within hours of the show airing, social media was buzzing with debates. Supporters of Melania praised her for standing up for her son, while others argued that Kimmel's words were nothing more than playful humor, not meant to be taken seriously. Despite the mixed responses, Melania knew that staying silent was no longer an option. She had endured countless attacks on her family throughout her time in the public eye, but this felt different. She could no longer let the media and public figures demean her son without consequence. Melania's response to Jimmy Kimmel's joke was swift, powerful, and unexpected. She wasn't just going to brush it off like other celebrity families had done in the past. She was ready to fight back, not just for herself, but for Barron. The nation was about to witness the unyielding determination of a mother who would stop at nothing to protect her child's reputation and dignity. This was no longer just a feud between a talk show host and a political figure. It was a battle over respect, family, and the lengths a mother would go to defend her child. The aftermath of Jimmy Kimmel's remarks spread like wildfire across social media, with commentators, journalists, and even regular people weighing in on the controversy. In the days following the show, Kimmel continued his usual late-night antics, unaware of the storm brewing behind the scenes. But Melania Trump wasn't about to let the matter slide. She had dealt with public ridicule and negative press about her family for years, but this time it was personal. It was about her son, Barron, and Melania wasn't prepared to let that go unnoticed. As she watched the clip of Kimmel's joke, Melania felt a wave of protectiveness rush over her. Barron, despite his famous last name, was still just a teenager, trying to navigate life as a young boy in the public eye. He wasn't a public figure by choice. He had never asked for the spotlight, yet the media seemed determined to cast him as the subject of endless mockery. The pressure on him had been mounting for years, but this moment, the public ridicule of a young boy by a talk show host, was too much for Melania to bear. Within hours of the incident, Melania, known for her composed and dignified public persona, made a bold and decisive move. She called her attorney, preparing for a response that would not just address Kimmel's remarks, but send a message to the world about how far she was willing to go to protect her family. The Trump family, used to controversy and public scrutiny, knew that this would be no ordinary battle. This was about setting a precedent, showing the world that bullying and mockery would no longer go unchallenged. A statement was quickly drafted, but it wasn't just a typical political rebuttal. Melania's words were sharp, measured, and deeply personal. She expressed her dismay at how a grown man in a position of influence could find humor in mocking a child. She made it clear that Barron had always been a private figure, someone who had never sought fame or attention, and it was time the media and the public respected his privacy. But Melania didn't stop there. In a powerful statement that resonated with millions of parents, She called out the broader issue of online bullying and the media's role in perpetuating harmful narratives about children, particularly those of public figures. Within hours, the statement had gone viral. The public response was swift and polarized. Supporters flooded social media with messages of solidarity, praising Melania for standing up for her son. Many took to platforms like Twitter and Instagram to share stories of their own experiences with bullying and how Melania's courage had inspired them. Some even praised her for breaking the stereotype of the silent First Lady, pointing out how, in this moment, she was displaying the strength and conviction that had always been at the core of her character. But of course, there were detractors. Jimmy Kimmel's fans, along with some critics, defended him, claiming that it was just a joke and that Melania was overreacting. They pointed to Kimmel's history of humor as proof that he wasn't being malicious, but rather engaging in his usual comedic style. Some even accused Melania of playing the victim, as public figures often do when their families are under fire. However, this time, Melania's resolve didn't waver. She wasn't interested in public opinion or media portrayals of her actions. She knew she was right to defend her son, and that was all that mattered. In an unexpected twist, Kimmel himself addressed the controversy on his show. With his usual charm, he acknowledged the backlash but downplayed the situation. "I didn't mean to upset anyone," he said, attempting to brush off the incident as an honest mistake. But his words rang hollow to many. Some saw his response as an attempt to defuse the situation, while others felt that he was simply trying to save face after being called out for his actions. The public's perception of Kimmel began to shift, with many expressing disappointment in his lack of a more heartfelt apology. But it wasn't just the talk show host who was feeling the heat. The entire late-night comedy industry found itself in an uncomfortable position. For years, celebrities and talk show hosts had ridiculed the Trump family, with little consequence. But this moment was different. Melania's response had set a new standard. It was a reminder that while public figures may often be fair game, their families, particularly children, should not be subjected to ridicule for the sake of entertainment. The fallout from the incident continued to ripple across the media landscape. Many wondered if this would spark a broader conversation about the treatment of children in the public eye. Could this be the turning point where the lines between entertainment and respect for privacy were finally drawn? As the controversy unfolded, one thing became clear. Melania Trump had made a powerful statement. She had shown the world that, as a mother, she would not hesitate to take action when it came to protecting her son. As the weeks went on, the incident began to fade from the headlines, but its impact remained. Melania's firm stance on defending Barron had left an indelible mark on the public consciousness. While Kimmel's joke may have been intended as harmless humor, it had ignited a conversation that was long overdue. For Melania, the fight had been worth it, not for her own reputation or political gain, but for the simple, unshakable love a mother has for her child. In the days and weeks that followed, the debate surrounding Melania Trump's response to Jimmy Kimmel's joke began to die down, but its impact lingered. Melania had successfully made her point clear. She was a mother first, and she would go to any lengths to protect her family, especially her son Barron. The episode had not only brought attention to the importance of respecting the privacy of children in the public eye, but had also sparked a wider conversation about the power of words and the consequences of public figures using their platform to mock or belittle others. For Melania, the battle was personal, and it was a reminder of the strength and resilience that mothers all over the world possess. Her willingness to stand up against a powerful public figure like Jimmy Kimmel sent a message that transcended politics, resonating with millions of parents who understood the need to protect their children from unnecessary harm. In a world where celebrity children are often fair game for jokes and criticism, Melania's bold defense of Barron set a precedent for how far a mother will go to defend her child's dignity. But this story doesn't end with Melania's powerful response. It leaves us with a larger question. When is enough truly enough? How often do we overlook the humanity behind the headlines and jokes? Melania's actions remind us of the importance of empathy, kindness, and respect for others, no matter their status or age. It's a message that everyone, from celebrities to everyday people, can take to heart. As the story of Melania Trump and Jimmy Kimmel's controversial moment fades into the past, the lesson remains: family comes first, and standing up for what's right is never a mistake. Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.